you're thinking about making here towards the end of the season?
Not particularly. I still like the group that we have on the court and what they're doing. We're still trying to get that experience that as a young team that we don't have.
Well, is this team still improving?
I think so. We're starting to play. Some of the intangibles we're starting to get better at is playing more as a team, playing for each other. I see those improvements. Our skill, our execution seems to be getting better, but so is everybody else, unfortunately. So we're still a little on the short end of the stick, per se.
Go ahead.
With the struggles that you're having right now, I mean, what are your hopes moving forward for this team?
Just, again, continue to play our best volleyball at the end of the year. That's been the goal all year, is to continue to improve. I think we're still along those lines. But continue, ending on a high note, regardless of how that turns out in these last 6 matches, 4 of which are at home, which I like. Some good teams coming here, and hopefully we can pick up some wins.
Does that kind of give you hope, I guess is the word, that 4 of your last 6 are at home, and as you said, you're facing some of the teams that you've had success against in the recent past?
As I tell our players, hope isn't a strategy. We have to be able to execute on a play-by-play basis, and if we can't do that, we're vulnerable to get beat by anyone. I do like the last 6 matches that we have because Idaho State is one of the top teams, and Northern Arizona certainly, but they've picked up some losses here of late, so I don't think they're playing as good as they've played. But Idaho State is still pretty tough, and then we have kind of that mid to bottom range of the conference, which I like the matchups in any of those matches, because we've beaten some of those teams and we've pushed them to really a 4th or 5th sets in our previous meetings.
Do you think you guys have taken on kind of a spoiler underdog mentality, seeing as how the season's gone so far?
Yeah, and I think ever since I've been here, no one's really had high expectations or hopes for Montana State volleyball, and some of the wins and some of the things we're doing are you kind of laying the groundwork for the future and what we're doing here, and now we are the spoiler. You're absolutely right. We don't have the same pressures that some of these other teams that are kind of on the bubble, the Sac States, the Montanas, of actually going to the conference tournament. A win, as we know from last year, seen from last year, can really change the tide of the season. Us beating Montana at their place last year kept Sac State out of the conference tournament, and it could come down to the wire for some of those teams now this year. And if we're able to beat Montana at home, we could keep them out of the tournament. So there are certainly bigger things on the line for some of these other teams that are now playing for a spot in the tournament.
What's the biggest thing that you have to work on right now to get those wins, these final?
Just continue to motivate the players, keeping them engaged, keeping them healthy. Continue to be positive with them every day, and encourage them to get better, because I know they're all frustrated. They're frustrated with how they're playing. They're consumed with how they're playing, and don't always look at the big picture. And we try and move past just kind of the individual play and really focus on how the team's doing and how the team is performing.